Joe Patel from Ecotricity. It's lovely to see you again.
Yeah, you as well. My surprise.
A year ago, when we did our brief interview, ad hoc outside weekly services, you said 250 chargers in the ground by the end of the year. We're now 6 months or more further on from that. How are we doing?
So obviously we had some unfortunate, unexpected issues with some of our planned sites. Right. Obviously various things have happened now and we're looking at getting the remaining motorway services completed. Probably within the next few months I would expect, but definitely by the end of the year. Right. I believe it's Birchanga Green, which is another welcome break site, is due to go in next week, was the plan.
Good.
And then next week we should get confirmation on the remaining ones. Obviously, as you probably are aware, over the last week we saw Hopwood Park get replaced with a new AC/DC charger and a Chademo CCS charger as well. So we've now doubled up on both those sites, both Hopwood and South Mim sites. Places like Telford, Hartshead, Moor North are all being installed in the coming months as well.
Okay.
So.
You've been saying that some motorway service sites don't have the power capacity. Is there anything that Ecotricity can do about those?
Currently we're looking at ways that we can find ways to either install capacity. Obviously that's a much bigger project, something I personally know very little about, so I can't really give much indication other than the fact that I know that from a management side it's something that we're working on, whether that be ourselves or looking for support from or working with the Highways Agency, for example, maybe. All I know is that Strensham is one site that does have no capacity currently, and it's a site we'd like to install at some point in the future, but we have no official plans or confirmations.
So after you've completed the motorway services, you have to ask what's next. Where do Ecotricity go next?
Well, we can already see that we've started to look at next. So A roads, the A55 across the north of Wales. Bangor has now got an installation. The BP garage, I believe it's a BP garage, maybe it's a Shell, at Singing Kettle service station, which is one of the Eurogarages sites. And we've got a few more Eurogarages sites in the pipeline. We've now also installed at Rivington, north and south. Airports, ports, Land's End, it's soon to be John O'Groats.
Right.
You know, so we're starting to expand and stretch beyond the motorways. Obviously power capacity again becomes an issue, but it's something we're looking at and constantly taking into consideration any ideas and suggestions that people give.
Okay. Those Land's End and John O'Groats, I mean, that means nothing except really you can do Land's End and John O'Groats. That must be sort of quite a tick in the box really for Ecotricity.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think it's something, whether we do anything around going from Land's End to John O'Groats, I don't know. That'll be down to Dale's decision and the rest of the marketing team. But to know that we have that capability in there,
yeah.
Definitely really, and it also, I think, especially by having John O'Groats installed, it definitely pushes to try and make sure we get points put in throughout Scotland to kind of fill the gaps. But I know that I think the Scotland authorities are doing their own various projects from what we've been told around the major business, like major urban areas, etc.
So we talked a bit about the electric highway. Ecotricity's other business, domestic electricity supply, how's that going?
Oh yeah, it's great. So we obviously had a massive growth last year. We're continuing to grow. I believe we're around 180,000 customers in the business and continuing to grow. You may have seen in the news this week the announcement about the land around Junction 13 on the M5 for a big green business park that we're looking to develop over the next few years. It's very much early stages and early plans. We're looking for a new sports stadium tied in with Forest Green Rovers that Dale works with, new offices, various other kind of development areas and work around the work that we do on building the equipment for our turbines and everything.
Right. Going back to sort of tidy up the electric highway, I'm sure I remember somebody saying that in your first year you gave away something like £600 worth of electricity. What is that figure nowadays? How has it increased?
Well, I don't know the monetary figure off the top of my head. I do know from presentation today that year to date we've powered 1 gigawatt hour of energy, and I know that the use on the network has been exponential in its growth. Last year we powered about 5 million miles worth of energy, and in April this year, we did 1 million miles just in the month.
Oh, right, just in the 1 month,
Yeah.
as opposed to 5 million for a year.
And it's been more than that consistently.
Yeah.
So from April, we've done more than 1 million miles every month.
One has to ask, how long can this go on being free, giving away that much electricity?
On genuine answer to that question, I genuinely don't know. We are obviously looking to be charging and working on the best way to do that, but it's something we don't want to go into until we're sure it would all work perfectly, be seamless, and obviously we appreciate that resolving all the issues with the network, reliability is one of the big priorities. You know, it's a free service, and we're grateful that the majority of our customer base appreciate that despite some of the issues, but obviously that is also one of our highest priorities in resolving before we can, with confidence, expect people to pay for the service that they get.
I would imagine that, given your job role, you just live and breathe and are encyclopedic about motorway services by now.
Oh yes, it's definitely probably one of my less popular party tricks that I can know a number of motorway services, what comes next on the motorway.
Right. So were you able to go on Mastermind? That's your specialist.
Without a doubt, and I said that exact same thing to people before.
Joe, it's been lovely to talk to you.
Thank you. No,
Maybe
pleasure.
we'll do it again in another year.
Exactly, it sounds great.